Sports Cards Live. Yeah. Ha. Hobby Talk Sports Cards Live, here we come. This show about to go, Jeremy Lee, get it done. This hobby is a lifestyle, bro. Y'all know. This hobby is a lifestyle, bro. Let's go. Best guests in the industry, you gon' see it tonight. We gon' keep it with this energy at Sports Cards Live. Y'all know it's a lifestyle. Y'all know that we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
Wait, where's Sam? There you are.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
What's happening, buddy? How are you?
Not much, not much. How are you?
I'm good. We are doing episode of what we're calling Booth Mates, you and me here. And this is going to be fun. What like, I don't know. I'm just excited to hang out with you here tonight for about an hour or so. See what happens. We'll see what
Same
this
here, buddy. How did we come across this idea? That's
I know, right?
Should we tell that story?
Yeah, how did we come up with the idea to do this show? So, we just spent last weekend together at the Schwan, in the Schwan.
That's right.
At the the Saskatchewan Card and Collector Experience. That's where we were. And so we had a great weekend. We'll talk about that. But what happened was I drove, you flew from Toronto, I drove from Calgary. And I was driving home and I called you just to see, hey, how was your travel? You know, what's going on? How'd the flight go last night? And you kept me company on the drive for a good couple hours and we were just chatting. And one thing kind of led to another. We're like, well, why don't we do a show? Why don't we go live, see what happens, check it out? And I think I said to you, hey, because I was thinking like we've been setting up together the Toronto Expo for 5 years. So I was thinking to myself, why don't we call it booth mates? Because we're booth mates. At least at the Toronto Expo, we're booth mates. In the Schwan, we weren't booth mates. At the Edmonton Expo, we're not booth mates. You set up and hang out with, you set up with Grant Patterson and his crew over there. But in Toronto, we hang out and we have a great time all the time. So that's how this sort of came about. Just I'm driving home, we were shooting the poop and hanging out. Is that how you remember it?
Yeah, exactly. We just started talking and, I always enjoyed how we did those, pre-shows and post-shows and just talking about the experiences. And we just had a laugh. The whole weekend in Saskatchewan was amazing. What a great venue. What a great experience for the first show. Like they just killed it. You weren't my booth mate, but technically you were because you were right next to me. So, and we're kind of always really close to each other, which is nice that they set it up that way. And it's just developed a special relationship over the last 5 years, to be honest. Even though we may not talk every day, I consider, like I told you on the car ride, I consider you a very good friend. We do talk about a lot of, personal stuff when we're together. So that's it shows me a different, we're kind of both level-headed and on the same page. And it's just, I don't know, it just made sense. We're like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Like, let's see what happens. Let's see where this goes. So it's going to be light, fun, kind of just showing, who we really are.
Yeah, exactly. I've done, as you know, so many shows, and we met through Sports Cards Live. Like literally when I first started it 5 years ago, you came into the booth at the virtual expo and then saw you at the real expo. And then I said, hey, do you want to just kind of hang out at my booth? And so I think is that kind of how we started setting up?
So what happened was the first expos before COVID, I met you. I bought a card off you, and I always remember you as a tall dude with the Winnipeg Jets jersey. And then COVID happened, and then people were coming online more and more, and then we had this shutdown. So they had the virtual, and I remember you just being so personal, being like, "Hey guys, come hang out." And I was between appointments in my car. I'm like, let me go talk to this guy. He's very personable. He's like, we're probably around the same age. See how he's doing. Keep him company. Nobody, I think, was in the chat at that time. So I just came in and we just started shooting, the breeze. And I always asked you, like, a lot of times when I come by, I see you by yourself. There's so much going on. How do you run a booth by yourself? Like I said to you, like, I think, if you ever needed help, I'd love to come and hang out. Right. And you were like, yeah, like I need help because, you got so much going on. Right. And then from there, I came, 5 years ago, I set up. You allowed me to bring some cards, and then just the rest has been history, man. It's been amazing, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I always look forward to hanging out with you at the expo and other show, whatever show we're at. It's always fun when you're there, whether you're at my booth or at Grant's booth, and then we're always hanging out too in the evenings and all that. You've always come to the event that I've thrown at Expo, the networking event. So I'm always grateful for that. And yeah, I mean, it's so much fun being at card shows, especially when you like the people in the hobby. Like you just, hey, check out what I just bought, or check out what I just sold, or did you hear about this? You hear about that? There's always so much going on at the big shows, the ones in Canada, which are the ones that but we see each other in the national too. You've been to the nationals too, right?
Yeah, in New York.
Oh, Fanatics Fest. Yeah, that's right.
So we travel, and the thing is I find myself, 6, 8, maybe 10 times a year traveling to these card shows, and I'm spending a lot of time, which I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the people. It's all about the vendors, the people that you're doing deals with. My type of work that's all I know. I'm in sales, and I love the interaction with people, like human beings face to face. It's just, I thrive, and I just love it because I just like to see the way people's brains, the way they think, and what makes a card special to them, and how they look at it in a certain way, and what the card means, what's the meaning to it, the sets that they collect. I can just sit there for forever and soak up the information. That's why I also was admired by you, because you had so much knowledge. I was like, this is crazy that this guy stayed in the hobby for so long and never left, which I had a long period, which I left, and I came back in 16, and everything was I left in 99, where they just started making inserts and patches, but I didn't even collect that at the time, because I already started to coming back to 2016, where it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just even soak in all the information, I love learning. I love listening. I
love the hobby.
Yeah, I love the hobby. You know what it is, though? It's the people who make the hobby, to be honest.
Absolutely. Of course,
right?
Of course. Speaking of the people, let's say hello. Marco in the chat.
Mark, what's going on?
Robert Scott. Yeah, we'll see you at the, Robert Scott. You've seen him. He comes by the booth all the time. Sam, what's up, Robert? HB, Joe P for Hobby Prez. Mike Double V, what's going on? Michael Stone, good to see you, buddy. Foul Ball, welcome to the show. Orlando, hello. Rob Scott loves card shows. The engagement with dealers and collectors in person can't be beat. I agree. One thing, Sam, that sticks out to me now, when we were chatting I had a 6-hour drive home on Monday from Saskatoon. So we were on the phone for a while, as I said earlier. But there was one thing that you said while we were chatting, and I forget what the context was, but remember I said to you something like, how did you pay for it, or how did you know what it was worth? And you said something to me like, I never check comps. Can you like comps are such a big part of the hobby right now. They're built into the hobby so much. But you said to me, you never, when you're at card shows, you don't check comps. You just buy. You just sell. How do you, I think people would be interested to hear that, but how do you do that? What's going through your mind? How do you operate in the hobby without paying attention to comps sometimes?
So I am a collector that I don't collect, I'd like to say readily available cards. I don't do the young guns. I don't do the mass produced. I'm like a patch auto guy. So the stuff that I collect is, I want to say lower print, 50 and below, sometimes it's 100. I have a large variety, but when I walk up to a booth and a lot of, so there's two sides of the story. I'll tell you the way I look at it. Because
I'm sorry, but I remember it was that Ed Belfour Emblems of Endorsement. We both spotted on setup night. A guy named Jamie from Grand Prairie had the card. He was set up with Penny Durr and the Imperial Gardens crew.
Yes.
And I said to you, okay, sorry. But the fun, let me just jump in and say one thing. Like, what we were talking about was we were talking about this guy and his card. It's like the card is probably worth, I don't know, $750 maybe, but he wasn't parting with it. You offered him What was the max you offered him?
Well, we were talking, and like a lot of people would be upset, but I understand, because I am always in his shoes when I have to sell a card that I like. But it's like I come to the realization that if I put it inside my showcase, chances are it's going to sell. Somebody's going to want it, and if it's there, you're allowing it to be, unless it's like not for sale. There's no price on it. But he had a hard time getting rid of it, and he had told me a price. He told me 1,000 when he pulled it out. And I was like, okay, I'll let you set up. I don't want to bother you, because I could see he was in a rush, because they were opening and he wanted to get all his cards in the space. I said, okay, I'll come back. So I came back like 3-4 hours later, and I see the price tag. It's 15. I'm like, what happened to 1,000? He's like, I love the card. I can't let it go. I'm like, fair. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm like, so what's it going to take to get it done? Cash deal. And he's like, 1,200. And I'm like, okay. And then something happened. I had to go. So I came back. So I'm like, okay, are we good to do it for 1,200? And he's like, no, man, if you give me 1,200, I can have a hard time letting it go. And I just sat there and I just kind of laughed without laughing out loud. And I'm like, I looked at him and I just said, yeah, I understand. Because, how many times, it's a real cool piece that you're going to find maybe 2 other similar. It had a very nice feather patch from Chicago. I'm a sucker for those kind of patches. So, and it didn't happen. We didn't do the deal. He says, I'm going to bring the card to Toronto and we'll see. So chances are, if he brings the card to Toronto, he's probably going to say 15, or the price may be raised. But I get it, because as I'm not a flipper, I'm a collector. But sometimes, when you amass a collection so large, you gotta figure you gotta let some stuff go sometimes. So, and I guess this is what he's done. He's taken it out of his collection, because we're always evolving. And I get it. And back to the part where I don't check comps. Like, if I want a card, like, I know more or less what I've paid for other players, and I never ever, if I come to buy a card off you, I'm never pulling out my phone and looking for comps. Never. Because I just know, as a collector, for me, it's like, so my background's in real estate. For me, it's like, this is going to be a long-term hold. Just like you tell people, when it's like, if you're looking to make a quick flip in real estate, then this may not be the house for you, So my brain just works like that. It's wired like that. So I don't really care what I pay for it today, because I know down the road, one day, if I leave it for the kids, that's like the goal. Or if they don't want to, then I sell it. Who knows, one day. But yeah, that's kind of my mentality and the way I think about things. So
yeah, like you don't really care what that card had sold for before. You wanted the card. You came up to his asking price and you offered it. And you don't care what you just don't care what it sold for. Especially, this card is numbered at a 15.
Right.
So, but it's not just that card. You operate that way at card shows all the time. You see what people's prices are. If it's something that you think is absolutely ridiculous, you're probably just not going to even make an offer. But it's like, we talked about it too. I mentioned to you one of my cards that I have, one of my Peter Forsberg limited logos. It's like, the card set it at auction, maybe it sells for $1,500, but I'm not even taking $3,000 for it. Like, I don't want to sell it. You could offer me $3,000. I'd probably say no. You could offer me $5,000. I'd be like, how do you say no to that? But I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna regret it as well. There's cards that we have that are just like that. But I think, and I can tell a couple comments in the chat already, like, there's something to be said for, just the comp economy has really taken hold of the hobby, especially with how much repack buying and selling is going on. I mean, all the repack buyers buy based on comps. So they live and die by the comp. Grant Patterson, who you were set up with GP Sports, sponsor of the Saturday Night Show, he buys at a fixed percentage based on comps. So the comp thing has really taken hold of the hobby. But myself as well, Sam, I probably buy and sell when I'm buying and selling for my PC. When I'm buying for my PC, I don't care so much about comps either. But when I'm buying just for show inventory, you kind of have to, because otherwise, people come up to your booth and they're like, hey, well, look what it just sold for.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, I mean, my patch is nicer, or there's only 15 of them. Or I don't care what the comps are. Like, then people just kind of you're not going to do as much business if you completely ignore it. But some cards, the non-commodity cards, or really nice for the grade vintage, who cares what the comp is? Like, you want the card, you gotta, unless you feel like you're going to be able to find another copy pretty soon that you're going to like for the same, right? So
exactly.
I just want to
go ahead.
I just want to say, because there were some guys here that were like right here. First of all, Orlando, good buddy of mine, Orlando says, I like this guy. You're all going to like Sam, no doubt, if you haven't met him yet. But Foul Ball says comps are for rookies. And like, in a way, I agree with him, because you and me, like, I agree with him on some cards, not all. Sometimes, like, if it's a whatever, a very common card, like a Michael Jordan 86 Fleer, you can buy one anytime. You may as well watch comps or pay attention to them. But if it's a card that just doesn't come up, the other thing about just buying and selling is that, like, over a certain amount of time, you develop a gut feel for cards. Like, you have that gut feel. So when someone wants to buy a card from you at the booth, if you have it priced or not, sometimes your prices are 2 years old. I know you repriced recently, but sometimes, people have prices that are old, and it's like, you may have 300 on it, but I'll even say it. I'll go, dude, that card's like, it's selling for 150. Like, give it to take the guy's offer, sort of. And then you're like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah. And then sometimes, like, I like the card, I don't want to let it go. Or you're like, all right, take the card. I've had it for enough time, right? So
absolutely. That's another thing, because I have this this debate with some of our hobby friends. It's like, oh, you got this card price high, and I'm like, listen, I'm not checking comps every day like you guys. I price it to where I think it's supposed to be. But I'm very fair. If you have a conversation with me and telling me I'm off, and if it's a card that's readily available, I'm happy to do the deal with you. I'll adjust, no problem. I'm not stuck on my sticker prices. And I find that people in the hobby, maybe it's the younger generation mentality, I'm not sure, but they're kind of like, they're almost like, if they see it high, they won't even bother to ask. Where my mentality is, you can have, I don't care what your price is, you can have 10,000. If it's like 6,000 over, I'm still going to ask you about the card, and I'm still going to wheel and deal with you. Like, the price doesn't scare me, but maybe that's all I know, because I've been in sales for so long. So my brain is programmed that way. It's like, no big deal. Don't worry. I'm not scared about the ask price. Like, I want a deal. Like, let's talk. But people don't look at it that way.
It's true. So Orlando never left the hobby since 1968. He's got about 12 years on me. Orlando, I love it, buddy.
That's insane. That's amazing.
Rome Rant, what's going on, Rome? We'll see you in Toronto in a month. Orlando says, I'll pay over comps for the right card. Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Michael Stone says, some guys are just that good. It's amazing they've been doing it that long. Yeah, it's true. Daniel, what's going on, Daniel? You know Daniel from the Expo.
Yeah, what's going on, buddy?
Michael Stone says, I hate to say, but part of the reason for emphasis on comps is influence. I think he says influencers. Yeah, he's right. It's because the influencers are often buying to sell to repackers and other flippers. So they have to follow, because they're not, when you're a pure flipper, you don't care about owning the card. You care about making money on the card. And the only way you need liquidity. And in order to have quick liquidity, you have to sell better than maybe the person like you or like Jamie with his Belfour. I love that Jamie didn't sell you that card. And listen, a lot of people would have a big issue with him. He told you 1,200. You came back a couple hours later and said, hey, do we have a deal at 1,200? He's like, I don't want to. He was having second thoughts. He didn't want to sell it. He didn't want to let the card go. Why do I like that? Because the guy loves the card. I love somebody who loves their card and won't take an offer that is like 75% over what most people would think is fair for it. Like, I respect the heck out of that, right?
So do I. I mean, that's why I said to the guy, just looked at him. I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't blame you. Like, I go through it all the time. I sold 2 Gretzky Robitaille this weekend, and I'm like, I don't really want to sell these. You know what I mean? But I enjoyed them. I had my time with them. Now I'll pass it on to somebody else to enjoy. That's the way I look at it, right?
Yeah.
So,
and you sold them to California Dave from the Hockey Cards Gong Show.
Yeah,
I think they're streaming right now too for their Slob Sharks show.
Are they?
Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, California, and that's another guy that I didn't really know until this weekend, and we had a good long chat. And man, what an amazing guy! Amazing guy. California
Great guy.
Dave is super, super nice guy, man. And he was so happy to have and that just for me, that just like I was done. I was like, okay, this is your card.
Don't you love selling a card to somebody who's going to love that card?
Absolutely. There was no way I was not going to sell it to him, because he's like, I love Robitaille, and I wanted to get a nice piece with Gretzky and Robitaille, and the swatches were so nice, 3-color. The autos were perfect on it. I'm like, listen, man, I'm going to be honest. I'm not like the guys I'm here that set up with. They're about moving. Like, I'm a collector, and I realize how much you love the card. You love it more than me. So that makes me feel good about giving you, the card.
I want to ask you about that, because you just said that it's something interesting. You're not like the guys you were set up with. And the guys that you were set up with are friends of ours, good friends of ours.
Absolutely, yeah.
Grant Patterson, Marco from Marco's Cars. These are great guys. These are young guys. These are these guys could be our kids. They're hustling. They're old enough to be we're old enough to be their fathers. But but I don't, we joke around like the kids table at Chop that night.
That's right.
We had a crew at Chop on Saturday night there. But these guys are also our friends. They're also people who we ask advice for. We talk to them. They ask us for advice. But what's it like for you? Because you set up with Grant at Edmonton. You set up with him at Montreal. You set up with him at in the Schwan now. Yep. What is it? Because you said like you are there collecting. They are there buying and selling. They're there as dealers, as flippers maybe. What is the dynamic like for you when you're set up with these young hustlers and you're there collecting and just trying to, you're there to have a good time?
You know what? I love it. I love the hustle. I love the high energy. I love the pace. These guys, they're young, but I got to say they work very hard. I'm very fortunate that I have a good relationship with Grant and now Marco and a few other guys, Pens collector, Trey and his dad, Chris. So, I mean, these are just like awesome people. Like, we're training his dad and more collectors as well, but Crosby, but they do like to flip and stuff. But I love the fast pace, like people bringing collections and them looking through and pricing cards and seeing like the grails that they acquire. And Grant's kind of very split. He is a true collector. Yeah. I like that side of him. And then I see the other side where it's like, okay, I got a store, I gotta make money, I gotta flip. Like, I understand he's got to do what he's got to do, and I respect that. So it's fun. It's a different vibe. It's a different vibe, and I'm there. I help him if he needs anything. Of course, being a booth mate, you're there. You want your booth mate to do well. If he needs anything, I'm there to be the wingman.
You're there video holding his phone and doing some videotaping so you can put out the transactional content that we see a lot of. Yeah. Here, Zach Pierce. Zach says, I check comps just to make sure I'm not paying $50 for a $10 card. I think that's totally fair. Like, I'll do that too if it's a card that I don't know much. Sometimes I'll go to Card Ladder and I'll look at comps just to like, if my gut, I feel like my gut's pretty good. My gut guides me well, but there are some cards I haven't seen for 20 years. So I don't know, like cards from the 90s, the early 2000s, a lot of Pacific stuff, early Upper Deck from the early 2000s. Sometimes I don't know. I had a ton of binders at this show from a collection I purchased, a lot of inserts and memorabilia card. I was referring to it as vintage memorabilia because this was like early memorabilia stuff. I don't know what these cards are worth, and I had them. I couldn't price all the binder cards. So it was an interesting dynamic because people were coming up and pulling out, like they were sitting in my booth for an hour and pulling cards out of the binders, making stacks. Baba Louie from the Gong Show got a stack of brodeurs off me, among other people. And there was one point where I was like, all right, I don't know I'm like, do you know, like, what do you want to pay me for this card? The guy's like, I want to pay $10. I'm like, how about 5? Or, like that, or I'll say, how about 15? Like, it went both ways. Well, I was dealing with Derek, OT Sports, great guy from BC. And we were going through that same process. And I go, I don't know, Derek, $10. He goes, Jeremy, I'll give you 40 for that. I'm like, really? He's like, I'll give you 40 for that one. I'm like, all right, man, thank you for being like that. that goes a long way.
Of
That
course.
goes a long way with reputation and just wanting to do business with somebody. But I hear what Zach is saying. Jay Mollico says comps don't matter to me. If it never comes up, I really want it or need it. Yeah, exactly. He says comps are for mass produced, more frequently available cards to me as well. 100% agree with that. I think that like comps are like go
you know
ahead.
what the funny thing is, Jer? There was even a comp, like, and it wasn't the same player, but it was Marc-Andre. Like, one had recently sold with Marc-Andre and a Blackhawks uniform with a nice patch too. So more or less, I figured I could figure out what it's worth, and I was still overpaying, and I didn't care.
You were talking about a Marc-Andre. You're talking about a Marc-Andre Fleury?
Yes, he's in the new set of the Cup.
Right.
He's got emblems in the door for 215 in Chicago Blackhawks.
He has way more auto patches in the market than Belfour does. Well,
Yes,
he has probably
it was
more
Chicago.
collector.
He's only got a few Chicago cards, right?
Okay, yeah.
And there's a big like Chicago patches are very well set up. Like, I want that card. I have to own that Fleury emblems of the door. I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I want it.
Yeah, so nice. What is up, Laura? Dylan Double D, good to see you. Welcome to the show. Mollico says my best card seemed like I drastically overpaid at the time. Me too, Mollico. Me too. Like,
but you feel like you have to get it, right? Like you have to pay to get it. It's like anything in life. If you want, whatever it is, something better than you all have, and you know that you got to pay the piper to get it, you're gonna do it.
Yeah. You sometimes you have no choice. You want the card because you run up to, especially if you're at a table, like some of the best cards are locked up. They're locked up for a long time, right? So if you find one of those cards and somebody's got it and they're not really they're not a full-time dealer, they're not a flipper, they are a collector who set up at the show to interact and have some cards come by their table, do some buying and selling, all this sort of stuff. In that case, those people they're not motivated. When people are coming up to my booth in the Schwan last weekend, and I've got all these binders, like people are looking, and they're saying, how much are these? I'm like, I couldn't get them priced. I know it's terrible, but I say, but I'm motivated to sell these cards. And I sold a ton of cards from those binders. Like, my booth was like, there were people looking through those. Saturday was crazy. So yeah, you just got to kind of go by feel sometimes, and sometimes ask advice. Even the buyer can give you advice sometimes, or your booth mate.
Well, that's the beauty of the hobby, really, right? Because when you find people that really like, you picked up a wild collection, like just stuff you never see, that old Pacific patch stuff, just stuff that you never see anymore. It's just old stuff. It must be had a hidden away, and it was just so much awesome stuff, and people were going nuts at your booth. Every time I looked up, you had 4 or 5 people just rifling through those and just picking cards out, and you were like, I'm like, dude, keep killing it. If you need help, I'm here. It's like, it was really good. You had no idea. You're like, I have no idea what to expect. This can either go really good or really bad. I'm like, from the stuff I see here, it's just all awesome stuff. And everything adds up, and you were just like, people were buying binders and coming back and buying more binders, right? What was that dude that came by that first binder?
Schwan,
yeah. And he came by. He was like, I was talking to him, and he had a smile ear to ear. He was so happy. He looked like a kid that just pulled a crazy good card from a Pokemon pack. He was so happy. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm back, and he's like a little kid. So it just, the hobby brings out the inner child in you. That's what I really notice. Is it I don't know, for me, it I don't know how to explain it even, but it does bring like the inner child in you. So it's pretty amazing. Like, I never thought getting back into it would be this intense for me, but I'm hooked. Like, I love it. And the people that I've met along the way, it's just because, you meet, there's a lot of, unfortunate, shitty people out there, but thank God I was able to, be smart enough to surround myself with good people and people that enjoy the cards just as much as me.
Yeah. So it's so much fun when just being at the show, hanging out with good people, but selling cards to somebody and then hearing how happy they were. So on the other side, so there was me, then there was you and Grant, and then on the other side of you, There was a lady and her son, and then I think there was Bo Sports Cards and Turner, who's Lantern, who comes in the chat all the time. And I was saying, I was having dinner with Chris one night or with Bo Sports Cards, and he's like, yeah, people were coming by saying, look what I just got at Jeremy's booth. And I was like, no way. Like, really? So it was that is so gratifying to know that, you can just make people happy by selling cards at good fair prices, which I was able to do because I got the collection at a good price and I was able to pass it on for good prices. So that worked out pretty well. A couple more comments. There's a lot. I just want to kind of go through a bunch of them here. Zach Pierce, it's crazy how fast someone will come off their crazy sticker price if you just ask. Well, yeah, Zach, because sometimes they priced them 2 years ago. But sometimes there's one dealer, I'm not going to name him, who I see him at a show regularly, and he's got a card in there that I know. I used to collect the set. I know that card's worth about $80. Like, literally, that's what the card. And there's other similar cards, and I don't need the card, but he has $350 on it, and it's been there for 3 years. I don't even look at his table anymore. Ever. I just walk right by because of that one card. So a crazy price can work against you. Sometimes I think it'll work against you more than work for you. What do you think?
Here's the thing. Have you ever asked them about the card?
$350.
Okay, so that's the difference, because we're kind of contradicting what we're saying. Because I'm saying if you come to me and I'm overpriced, and you have a comp or you have some, I'm willing to work with you. But so that's why I asked you if you actually talk about the card.
Yeah, in that case, he's not coming off his price. So my point in that case is that, well, now I figure, well, he's probably out to lunch on a lot of his cards. So I've never bought a card from this guy, and I see him 10 times a year at card shows. And he's a nice guy. I say, hi, we're friendly, but I don't even bother looking at his booth anymore. It just doesn't work out.
Well, there's a lot of those, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mollico here says, how many great cards does Eddie the Eggplant have? Not many. What's up, House of Jordan Collectibles? Midlife Greg. What's up, Greg? Sam's Blue Jays jacket is bringing my depression back.
Oh, sorry, dude.
That's a good buddy of mine, Greg. We're very happy with the Blue Jays up here in Canada right now. That is Canada's team for sure. Well, it's our only baseball team. So World Wrestling, the Slab Shark stream ended at 11. Well, that's 11 what? 11 Eastern? Because it's not quite 11 Eastern yet. But Foul Ball says, why would a collector set up at a show? Because collectors like to buy. Collectors like to... believe it or not, Foul Ball, some collectors do move cards. They do buy and sell their own cards. What is up, Mitch Grotman?
Mitchie.
Yeah, buddy. Mitchie. Midlife says, Card Buddies hanging out talking cards is the best. Thank you, Greg. Greg, I owe you a phone call, Greg. Mollico just paid $1,000 over comp for a card yesterday. Vladdy Guerrero, Rubies, never comes up. Cannot spend time worrying about a price from 2 years ago. Attaboy. Agree. Hey, there's Lantern right there. We were just talking about you, Turner. My gut also guides me. Exactly. Vintage Sports says, will these legendary binders be in Mississauga? Well, Louis from the Gong Show, he texted me earlier today. He said, hey, what's your plan for the binders in Toronto? And I said, listen, I drove to the Schwan so I could fill up my car with my 18 binders. Now I'm down like 3 or 4 because I came home, I consolidated, and I sold 3 full binders to people who just said, how much for the binders? So we made a deal. I sold 3 complete binders. So I don't know yet, Vintage. I'm going to have to figure out how many I can pack in my suitcase. So we'll see. But I will bring some. Orlando says comps are just a guide. Dylan is a gut guy as well. I love it. Gut guys unite, says Turner. We all agree.
It's true though, right?
Look at the good laughs in the chat here, Sam. Double D, Orlando. Everyone's having a good laugh. Sorry. Okay, go back. What were you just going to say?
No, it's true though. If you've been in the hobby long enough and you're comfortable with your purchases and you know what you like to collect, you have a guide. But for certain cards that come up that you haven't seen for 5 years, and it may be another 5 years before I see this card again, you got to go with your gut, man. If you want the card, you're gonna pay. It's just like anything in life.
Yeah. If it's a rare card, if it's a Connor McDavid Young Guns or a Vladdy Guerrero Topps flagship, there's always going to be another one that comes along.
Of course.
It's the same sort of attitude that when you go to like I always tell people, when you go to the National or the Expo, for that matter, any card show, really, you see a card that you've been looking for or that you feel you really want, and it's rare, either rare in terms of print run, or it's really scarce in terms of the eye appeal of a vintage card relative to its technical grade. You kind of got to grab it, or it's going to be gone. Same thing. You kind of got to pay the price for a card that you really, really want.
And back to the point that you always mentioned, and you taught me this once I got back into the hobby. You mentioned it in one of your shows. You said, you know what? When you're walking at a card show, I've learned the hard way. When you see something you like and you think, oh, I just got in, I'll just keep walking and I'll come back. When you go back for that card, guess what? Chances are it's not there, because somebody else bought it. And the funny thing was, the booth that was beside Grant and I, the wife and son, salt of the earth people, very, very nice. It was so nice to see a mom and son. Like it was amazing. Anyways, a guy came back and he's like, oh, I was here this morning for that. I didn't listen to the card. And he's like, I don't see it here. And she's like, yeah, it's sold. I said, a buddy once told me, I said to the guy, you see the card, you do not walk away and you buy the card. So did
you say, and that buddy is that tall, bald dude 2 booths over that way?
Probably. And the guy's like, he looked at me and he started laughing. He's like, you know what? You're absolutely right. I said, listen, it happens to all of us. Next time it's not going to happen again. And he just laughed. Great people in the Schwan, by the way. What a venue. I suggest everybody come out to the next show, because it was
fun. What do you think? Like, there's not a lot to do in Saskatoon, like in terms of
not much.
Not much. I mean, there were a few restaurants and but like, the Gong Show guys have kind of dubbed it as Hobbies Burning Man, or maybe Hockey Card Burning Man. I'm not sure. There was a lot of non-hockey there too, but I kind of feel like this Saskatoon show could turn into that sort of thing, almost like not like like I feel like the National is a mecca, the Expo is like a mecca. These are the things that everyone looks forward to all year long. But there is an opportunity for us. Like the Dallas show has become kind of like this cult-like sort of thing. I've never been, but my feeling, my understanding, my perspective is that I think like the Saskatoon show in the Schwan could become that sort of thing for Canada, because it's it's smack dab in the middle of the country. You can come in from Ontario, Manitoba, Alberta, BC, Quebec, the Maritimes. Sylvain came all the way from the Maritime provinces. I mean, it's from New Brunswick. Like, I wonder if it'll turn into that kind of show where people just go to that one every year. What do you think?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more, because usually when you go to a show for the first time, your expectations should not be high, in my opinion, because they're not perfectionists yet, right? But for the first show, and I've been to a lot of firsts, I must say, I was really impressed, because just the way they had, like, they decorated with the sheer, the curtains, they were nice and tall, it was very elegant, it was nicely laid out. And the hospitality, like, I mean, just a small town, like it had that really small town feel that they really cared. They always came by, everything okay, how you doing? Are your people coming? Are you buying? Are you selling? Like, I think it's going to be definitely a staple on the Canadian tour for sure.
Yeah, I talked to Karn, who's one of the owners of Slab Sharks, and I told him that it was a great show. He says good. So you'll set up at that one with the Slab Sharks banner. That'll be one of your big shows every year. And I go, yeah, it was a big show. It was great. I mean, I think we've said that enough times.
Can you imagine in like 3 years what it's going to be like? Right.
We'll see. I mean, there's room for more booths in there, and there were a lot of like community type of booths there, and see how long if they'll have to swap them out for more. Like there were some team booths there. There was a candy vendor and some toy vendors. I bought 2 mini arcades from the 80s. I bought Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. That was like cool. I was tickled pink to find those sort of things. So
that was a cool find. But I had no idea you were into collecting those.
Oh yeah, I've got a whole.
And you showed me your picture. I was like, "What? That's so cool."
Yeah, I love that. I love that stuff. Okay, let me read some comments. Yeah, man, cards. Mo, what is up?
Oh,
Glad to have one of these types of episodes. Seems like it's been forever since the last one. Vintage Oddball says, my gut is bigger than yours. Mollico says, my entire Brady collection was purchased over comps when I got them. Now, still cannot believe it each day. Yeah, this such foresight you had with that, Mollico. Mookie Chilson is in the house. What is up, Mookie? Welcome to the show. Turner says, those binders were the hit of the show for myself. Everybody was diving through. Yeah, thank you for you checking them out, Turner. He says, Schwan was coming back to my booth, exchanging e-transfer for cash, and then walking back to your booth. Chris is right. We got to look through a bunch of stacks that were picked up at your booth. But yeah, that's what I was hearing. It was awesome. What is up, Stukes? Good to see you. Daniel A says, there are dealers I just walk by because of my first interaction with them. First impressions go a long way. Be kind, fair, and respectful. Not so well said. Michael Stone, some of the best PC cards I have bought walked up to me at shows. Beautiful. Hey, there's both sports cards. Look at that. Lantern,
there you go.
We should start a rival podcast. Booth buddies. That's
Love
good.
it.
Vintage says, ship them. He's talking about my binder. Ship them. Oh, wait, because of the postal strike, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Sylvan. We were just talking about you too. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, dude?
Good to see you. Speak of the devil. That's right. We were just that's awesome. Stuke says, I heard 7-pin bowling was big in Saskatoon. Vintage says, we need a Schwan on the East Coast. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Get it done, Sylvan. Mitch Grotman says, shout out to Sam for finding a card for me at the show. Yeah, you told me you found a card. You didn't actually buy. I'll let you talk to that for a moment.
So, you know the story behind the Belfour. I want. This always happens. The problem is the people that we hang out and we seem to like to collect the same things. Yeah. And I have a problem with Grant that every time I tell him I like a card, he ends up going to buy it. Well, there was a McDavid I wanted to buy. That had a nice little drop, but he ended up buying it. So there was those two cards, and then I couldn't make the deal on the Belfour, so I didn't buy it. It was my first show ever that I didn't buy anything. I just think I'm trying to consolidate into more pickier, special things that really, make me happy when I buy them. Not that everything that I've bought in the past hasn't made me happy, but I guess I'll just be a little bit more picky. But I'm like left there happy as hell because it was good to hang out with everybody, and I sold a few cards, and it's all good. It was good.
Hey Mitch, did that Rick Nash card arrive to you yet? I'm just curious if you have that one that I had sent over your way. Let me know if you don't mind, or text me, whatever, but I'm curious if you received that yet. Michael Stone, you don't count Philly Vintage. Don't know. Might not be for me. I'm not sure what that's about. Michael Stone. AMG show is becoming a Pokemon show. Okay, so that's out on the East Coast. AMG, that's Brad's company, or his wife's company now. Brad runs PSA Canada, and his wife runs their old shop in I don't even know what is that in Halifax, maybe. Stukes, was the meat guy there? No, the meat guy's in Toronto. Stukes, that guy's in Toronto. But good question. Lantern is Turner says, I had the security guy come up to me at my booth to check in to see if everything was okay and if there were any issues, which has never happened before at any show I've set up at. Those guys Carter and Justin, who ran the show, they were walking around constantly. They had branded shirts on. Their staff had branded shirts on. You could identify them easily. They came up to me several times a day. Are you okay? Can I get you anything? These guys really impressed me. I don't know how else to say it. They really impressed me, and it makes you want to support them. It makes you want to see the show be a success in the long term. Hey,
they really care, right? You see, they really, really care, right? And that's important to me. Like I just see these qualities in people, and I'm like, yeah, man, like I want to support this guy.
Absolutely. Sure. Producer Louie, the producer of the Hockey Cards Gong Show. What is up, Louie? We got to hang out with Louie. So Sam, Sunday night, you had gotten on the airplane. I went for dinner with Bo Sports Cards and Mikey from Eastridge and Ken, who I just call the old man, and he's a great guy. And then after that, I went to the Gong Show house and hung out there for a couple hours and had a good time with the crew. Sylvan was there, Louie, California Dave.
They were doing the podcast.
I got there after they finished.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, Phil and of course Josh. And it was just, I hung out there for like 2 hours, and it was just a real nice way to cap off the weekend. And then of course the drive home, I had a 6-hour drive, and I talked to you for like, I was telling my wife, like, how long were we on the phone for? It had to be 2 hours.
It was 2 hours.
At least. Yeah.
But honestly, it felt like we were on the phone for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. That's how it goes. That's how it
goes, right? Like, I mean, it's just like, I figured, what else are you going to do? You know what I mean? And then we got into this topic, and here we are today. So it's kind of cool how things just happen, right?
And I was gonna change the background for this show, because this is not we're on Sports Cards Live on YouTube, but this is not the Saturday night Sports Cards Live show. And then before we went live, my internet went all wonky, and I had to restart. I didn't have time to change things up, so we'll try for that next time. Bob Boozle, I'm sharing a booth with you. Here's a list of my shampoo, soap, cologne, and preferences for you. Bob Boozle, you are welcome to set up with me at any show you are ever at. Sylvan says Postal Strike is now a rotating strike. Well, that's good. Michael Stone, Jeremy, are you coming to the Strongsville Vintage Show? I mean, I've been telling everyone I'm coming to that, Michael. I don't know how I'm going to stay away. Like, I have to come to the Strongsville show. It's run by the guys that run the Toronto Expo and all the Canadian Expos, both good friends of mine, Steve and Mikey. Like, I want to come support them. I want to come see everybody. I love the vintage community, but I also love the auto patch hockey community, like we see in Toronto. Molecule says, never tell people what cards you are targeting.
Very true.
That's pretty good. Oh, thank you, Mitch. Appreciate that. Vintage Sports. CUPW to replace Nationwide Canada Post walkout with rotating strikes. We have mail service back to a degree. Well, that's good to know. The AMG show is in Halifax. It's at a mall where the AMG shop is. Gordon Morrison, who I believe Gordon, didn't you stand me up yet? Was that you who stood me up yesterday? I was supposed to meet somebody yesterday to pick up a Slab Sharks consignment at Starbucks.
Gordon, is that you?
I think that's you, Gordon. I think you stood me up yesterday, but that's okay.
Come on, Gordon.
Well, the good thing is that I had 2 meetings, so I always say, hey, come by Starbucks. I'll already be there. So it didn't put me out at all, but I kept looking for you, Gordon. I kept looking for you. If you're the same Gordon Morrison. Turner says, I thought Sam purchased a gold Heatley from me.
Yes, that was the card for Mitch.
Ah, okay. There you go.
Thanks,
Greg. Midlife Greg. Jeremy's either going to Strongsville voluntarily, or I'm going to Canada and will drag his ass there. I know. I know. Oh, no. Gordon Morrison. No, you got my. Oh, okay. Different Gordon. That's crazy because well, it was a Gord something that stood me out. Okay. I'm glad that wasn't you, Gordon Morrison. Gordon Morrison brought me 2 Ken Dryden rookies and a Guy Lafleur, which are going to be listed on Slab Sharks. They're already on their way there. Those will get listed next Thursday on Slab Sharks, along with so many great. I want to thank all the consigners who dropped cards off with me in the Schwan. It was great. Like, it was really good for that business for sure. Michael Stone says, I got at least 1 beverage on me. If you make it to Strongsville, Jeremy. I mean, Michael Stone, I can be a thirsty guy. I might have to counter you at two beverages. I'm just kidding.
When is the Strongville show, Jer?
I think it's is it in March, guys? Something like that, I think.
Oh, it's
not
next
sure.
Year. Okay.
I think it's in March. Bob Boozle. Gordon was supposed to be the best man at my wedding. Never showed. Foulball says Strongsville can't handle more people. Well, they're gonna. Oh, April, says Michael Stone. Yeah, I'm really gonna strive to get there. Like, as long as it works out for me family wise, there's nothing that'll hold me back. Yeah. Like, I can't wait to get there. So hey, let me show what I picked up in Toronto. And I did, I picked up
Toronto or the Schwan.
Did I say Toronto? I meant the Schwan.
Yeah.
Thank you. I only picked up 1 card for my personal collection. And it's an auto patch. And it's a beautiful auto patch. I love SP Authentic limited auto patches. Now, SP Authentic Future Watch auto patches, very nice to actually pick up a retro version of one of those in the same deal off a guy. But I bought that to bring to Toronto to find a new home. And I'm not a big fan of SP Authentic Future Watch auto patches unless they're game used, which I don't think they ever really are. I think they're mostly photo shoot or event used or whatever it is. But that's where I see the SP Authentic limited auto patch. I see it having its own niche right there, as like you can still get a beautiful auto patch of a player maybe in the second, third, fourth year, whatever it is, that's going to be game used and on card. So here's the one that I picked up for my collection. The highest paid player in the NHL now, the highest contract ever given out, $17 million a year this guy just signed for, Kirill Kaprizov of the Minnesota Wild. And, I don't collect this guy, but I love these cards, and I don't mind having a nice card of his. And then the other thing, and this is maybe sounding weird, but, being friends with the Gong Show guys from Minnesota, they love Kaprizov. It's like, this lets me enjoy that with them. It lets me feel like, I have some skin in the game when I'm listening to them talk, or I'm talking directly to them about, how like, I don't think it's, I hope it works out to be a good deal for their team, but I think it's a lot of money for this guy when McDavid just signed for $5 million less a year for 2 years, but salary cap's moving and everything. But this just kind of, it just kind of lets me, oh shoot, Turner, you're right. I was thinking like raw, not graded cards. So anyway, I picked this up. It lets me have some skin in the game with them. Here's the card I picked up in that deal. It was a Matthew Nice. This is a Future Watch auto patch, but a retro version. And I don't believe this is game used, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this trio of beauties, all PC, that I picked up from Turner. And I want to thank him for that and working with me on these 3 cards. I had mentioned in a previous episode of Sports Cards Live that these Fleer Ultra teams are from 2021. I said, I have the McDavid and the Ovechkin. I need the Crosby. And he put in the chat, he goes, I have the Crosby. Well, he brought it to Saskatoon, and I got it from him. Here it is. It's a beauty. I love these. And then I also picked up from him these are Fleer Metal Universe Cachets, the platinum blue out of 15 and the gold out of 50 Sidney Crosby's. Beautiful cards. So
I must say, Turner had some nice cards in his booth. Very shiny, nice shiny stuff. He's the dude who had the McDavid oil drop.
Yeah.
Grant bought off him. Thanks, Turner.
Well, it's funny because you said Turner had nice cards in the showcase, and I'm nodding along because Turner and I have very similar taste. And I said that, I go, dude, we have such similar taste in cards, like we really do. Yeah. So the funny thing is that, what was it? 2 days after the show, McDavid signs for a sweet hometown discount. I mean,
we all know why he signed that, right?
To renegotiate in year 3.
Yeah, it's like this is your 2. You got this year and 2 more years. If we don't win a cup, see you later.
But doesn't it also give him the opportunity then to say that, like, listen, I want to win. We got 2 years to see what you can do, management. Now, exactly. I'm gonna help you out by only making $12.5 million a year. That's it. I'm good at 12.5. But in return, take that extra money. Go get us a goalie who isn't named Skinner. Go fill out our depth. Go get us another D-man, whatever it is.
They did sign Roslovic today. So
I saw that.
Already, you see that's a 1.5 million. Like I don't understand.
Great pickup.
How don't the lease pick? Like I don't get that. But anyways, yeah. So that was a hometown discount. I mean, to say not a hometown, but I mean, I was to say, hey, okay, I'm going to sign for 2 more years at the same money, but you guys got to show me that you're going to build the Stanley Cup team because we're a few players short, and every year it's the same thing. But I like their moves. I like what they did, and I think they're younger and they're faster and they're a better team this year. I don't know if you got to watch the game last night at all, but that Mangiapane pickup and getting Roslovic is their top 6 is going to be a different team now.
Yeah, and Henrique looked good last night. Yeah. I mean, I was watching the game in the first period, hoping for the Calgary Flames, and they went down 3-0. And then I said to my FK, good night, I'm going to go for my walk. I came back. It's 3-3. I'm like, holy shit. The Flames came back and won in shoot in the 8th round.
Yeah, Kadri scored on the backhand, right?
Kadri with the shootout. I love Kadri. Yeah, like it was so good to beat McDavid in Edmonton for the Flames. Dustin Wolf was lights out last night.
Was he?
He's so good. He's so good.
Yeah,
he's a Vezina Trophy winner at some point here for sure. Yeah, for sure. Michael Stone, he's gonna bring me a 6-pack to Strongsville. Orlando, I can't wait to see you in Strongsville, buddy. Yes, Kirill the Thrill. Turner. Yeah, these are definitely PC cards for me. Very happy with them. Thank you, Mollico. Appreciate that. Louis says 95% of my pickups from Sask came from the damn books, the damn binders at some guy's booth. Yeah, that was me, Louis. That was me, buddy. Stukes, Minnesota Wild setting a new comp with Kirill. Yes, they are. They're off to a great. Yeah. Did they win tonight? I saw Kaprizov he was on the scoreboard somewhere tonight.
Oh,
I noticed that earlier.
He was 4.
Look at this. Look at this, Sam. Turner says he still has the exquisite oil drop.
I know, Turner. I know.
I thought, so the one that Grant bought was from someone else, or was that a second?
No, it was Turner's. Turner had the because I sold Grant mine. It was the rookie review. So not a true rookie, but the rookie reviews. But Turner had a beautiful one with half of the oil drop on it. So I sold that one knowing that I wanted to upgrade. And then when I saw his, I was like, oh my God. Okay. But then
I'm just pouring some water from my water bottle into my cup. And I know, hey, let's give a shout out to our buddy Luke from the Hobby Spot Quarantine Case Breaks. He sent me this a while back. And it's actually a really good water bottle. But Luke was at the show, and I sat beside him for dinner at Chop on Saturday. It was great to see him and everybody else that came from all around the country.
Good to see Luke's doing well. Good dude, Good
dude. Yeah. He's just a I don't know how to say it, but I like him more than I ever have.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Panthers have won the first 2 games without Barkov. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, Orlando's down in Florida. Stu says Crosby was the best player to play for a Minnesota team, and he was a high school sophomore at the time. Mollico, if they do not improve, he can leave knowing he did what he could do to. That's it. Exactly. He's doing. I got to tell you, like in the last 2 days since he signed that deal, I like McDavid more than I ever. And I like McDavid. I like McDavid when he plays for Canada. I like collecting his cards. He plays for the biggest rival of my team. But I like McDavid. I want to see him succeed. I want to see him win a cup, even though he plays for our biggest rival.
How do you not who wouldn't think about the last player that has Sidney Crosby, the last player that gave their team a discount to try to build a team around. Like these guys are, even if you don't want to see McDavid go run his career without getting a cup for sure, but what a individual. Like when you think of that, you're like, how can you not want to win with this guy on your team? Like, does that not set your mindset in in almost like a wolf pack? Like, I don't know, like someone that does something like that. Like it's like this guy he could be earning 20 million right now, but he took 12.
I know.
Like
it's so nice to see in this day and age of these athletes making so much money to play a game. They are entertainers, and entertainers make a lot of money. Actors, musicians. Look at Taylor Swift's a billionaire. Why? Because people want to pay to see her. They want to pay to consume her content, her songs, her music. Same thing. These guys are generating revenue, so they may as well take their piece. They are the show, So
yeah.
But the fact that he took that deal, I think that's like, if I'm an Oiler fan right now, which I'm not. If I'm an Oiler fan right now, though, I think I'm as happy as I could really ever be during the McDavid era, knowing that the next 2 years are going to be like make it or break it. And but like Sylvan says here, they need goaltending. Skinner gave the game away to the Flames. Like the Flames, and I watched the highlights of the 3 goals that they scored. 2 were flukes, absolute flukes. Like LGC says a 2-year contract makes both McDavid and Matthews UFAs in the same year. Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure. LGC Grotman says, as long as the Oilers keep blowing games like that, I'm happy. Midlight Greg. Jay Lee, greater than T Swift. Oh, Greg, you sure know your way to a guy's heart, buddy. Can you imagine? Yeah. That's so ridiculous. It just might be true. I'm just kidding.
That's funny. So McDavid's wife makes more money than him.
No.
Yeah, she's like a top interior designer in Canada. Oh yeah, she's large.
What, an interior designer that's making $1 million a month? Come on.
No, she's makes more money than him overall, like every year. She's like a well-known designer, and she's huge, man.
That's That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Should we talk about the Toronto Expo that's coming up in a little while?
Yeah.
Or should we
Let's do
save
it.
that for the next episode?
No, we could talk about it next episode, next time we do. So to the people in the chat right now, Sam and I, we want to do this on a regular basis. It's not going to be every week. That's a bit much, but we are thinking maybe every second week we'll do a show. We don't really know what night is. Like today, we did it today because we couldn't do it last night. And we're not going to do it tomorrow night. So, 2 weeks from now, do we do it on another Thursday? Do we do it on a well, we don't want to do it on Thursdays. We don't want to go on at the same time as the Gong Show guys are doing theirs.
I like Wednesday.
Wednesday.
If that works for you.
Maybe we strive to do like every second Wednesday. That is the Wednesday that Dustin and his crew isn't doing their show. They do a live stream. Him, Rob, Neo, Flippin' Steve, and of course my good buddy Michael Ham. Those four guys do a show every second Wednesday, I think. So yeah, we wouldn't want to do one when they're doing it if we don't have to. Oh, Stukes, Kaprizov 3 assists tonight. Yeah. That's right.
I think they won 5-0.
And look at this. Mitch is going to finally be back at the Expo. Yeah, the guy went and got married the same weekend as Expo last year. Like, talk about priorities being backwards.
Dude, how can you do that to us?
Bro, I would have delayed my wedding a full year if I had to go to the Expo.
We'll forgive you this one time, okay?
Yeah, at least he's coming back. He's coming back.
Oh, and I believe he missed another one because I think he went on his honeymoon on the next Expo. What time?
The guy is he's got issues with planning things.
Yeah, that those weeks got to be, they got to be in red.
Yeah. Look what Mo says. He thinks, I think after every show would be cool, like doing one of these episodes to kind of debrief it.
I love that idea for sure, because there's always something to talk about for sure. And I said that to you too. It's cool to do before and afters, right?
Yeah, we can do that. But if there's a stretch where there are no card shows
of course,
we're doing, then we can just come on here and talk about other stuff too.
Yeah,
I mean,
pickups and just talk about the hobby.
Yeah, just a nice kind of relaxed, where I don't feel as much sort of pressure or pressure, whatever, with my Saturday show where it's been established for 5 years now, and people come back and there's a kind of a tempo to it where this can be a little bit more relaxed. Even though I can't help myself but going to comments, like it's in me. It's part of how I just do things.
Of course, we want to acknowledge the comments, of course.
Yeah, Mo likes the recaps. Lantern spent my first wedding anniversary October 5th at the Sask. Yeah, so this was great. I went to dinner with Bo and Mike and Ken at the Keg on Sunday night, and as we're sitting there goes Turner and his wife walking right past us, leaving after having their anniversary dinner. I didn't even know, Turner, that your wife was there.
That's
although
awesome.
Chris told me that she came to the show in the morning to help you set up, and that's so cool. You must have a very cool wife, Turner. I didn't get to talk to her, but I would love to. I love to say hello next time.
Yeah.
Mitch says I picked the wedding date before Expo date was announced. Unfortunately, we still not forgiven. No forgiveness, Mitch.
You only allowed once, okay?
Not one. Slovan says Jeremy would delay his wedding a full year and then ends up being during an Expo again, only to delay it. Yeah, I would delay my wedding 2 years in a row if I had to. Mitch, look at this. If I'm lucky, I'll never have another wedding.
That's right. Hopefully so. Your wife is she's very nice.
She is very, you know what? I had them over for dinner here not even a year ago. And his wife was very nice, really played with my kids, and they loved her.
Complement each other very, very well. He's done a good job.
Mo says for Saskatchewan show organizers, announcing dates as early as possible helps people make hard decisions. Yeah. And by the way, those guys, they're locked in for next year and the year after. So the Saskatoon show, the Schwan, is happening in 2026 and 2027. So for anyone who wants to come, just come.
Just come, man. You're not going to regret it. It's a great show.
Exactly. LGC is talking to Grotman. What does he say here? Provenance of Phil's Blue Crosby PMG. Mitch to me, 23 Burbank to Phil, 25 Schwan. What are those numbers, 23 and 25? Is that like $100 or something? I don't know.
Those are the years.
Oh, Mitch to me, at the 23 Burbank show, and then to Phil 25 at the Schwan. Got it.
Guessing.
Dog food soup. What's up, Chris? You block off the entire month that expo will happen and plan your wedding around it. Obviously.
It's
There we
okay.
go.
Everybody makes mistakes. We can forgive him.
Absolutely. What is Sylvan says, Mitch? Now you will have your anniversary during expo weekends every so often.
True. Good point.
Oh my God, he never even thought. You see, that's how bad he is at planning things, Mitch.
Sylvan comes in the clutch. See, he's thinking, man. He's thinking.
Sylvan would not schedule his wedding during expo.
You will not.
Absolutely. That we know for sure. All right, buddy. We're just at the hour 5-minute mark. Anything else on your mind before we wrap up this first episode of Boothmates here on
I hope everybody
Live?
enjoyed it. I mean, it's just two guys talking about the hobby and hanging out. I mean, I did get one card from the Schwan, which was from you, that was gifted to me, which was very nice. I just thought it was a super cool patch. And this is the kind of stuff that you had in those binders.
Move it a bit so it's not behind your name there. Yeah, so that was in that collection that I picked up, and a nice Pacific private stock patch, Timu Solani, with that patch is 97. I don't know what that is. Have you figured out what that is yet?
No. I
don't know what that is either.
Cool. Yeah, so right. I mean, looking forward to the expo. That's the Mac Daddy,
That's going to be fun. We're going to do Thursday night. Grant and myself are going to be hosting the networking event again at Arizona's second time in a row. And we just got confirmation from Upper Deck that they are again going to be sponsoring the appetizers for the event. So big thank you to Upper Deck for that. Toronto Expo is going to be great. Patrice Bergeron signing autographs, Mike Medano, Yari Curry.
Oh, nice.
They got a stacked lineup again that they have. I was talking to Mikey Singer yesterday, and he said, yeah, it's going to be another great lineup of autographs. So that'll be a lot of fun. Thank you.
And unfortunately, one thing I want to mention, it'd be nice if they could figure out dates where the Schwan and Montreal didn't have to be on the same weekend.
Yeah.
Because we like to support, the guys from the Expo, right? Steve and Mikey. I've been to, since they've taken over, I've been to every Montreal Expo, and I couldn't go this time. Unfortunately, the dates didn't work out. But so maybe going forward, hopefully they could figure that out, because then I get to go to 2 shows.
Yeah, 2 shows in October, maybe, right? Yeah.
I can drive to Montreal, fly out. It's great. But
Thank you, Orlando, Mollico. Appreciate it. Sylvan, look forward to seeing you too. Yeah, Christmas 2 months in a row here. The Schwan, followed by the Expo in Toronto.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Good times. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, this was This was fun, buddy. So we got to figure out when we're going to do this show again. Oh, look at this. Mitch says that 97 might be from the Japan game, which would be crazy.
Look at that. Mitch coming in the clutch.
Well, he knows his patches. He knows his patches. The guy can't schedule. We're shit, but he knows. We swore on Sports Cards Live. It's okay.
It's okay.
This is Boothmates.
It's Boothmates, man.
It's Boothmates. But he can't plan. He can't plan his big life events. But he can tell you where a patch card comes from.
That is crazy. I love this card 10 times more. No,
that's so cool. I'm so cool. Glad that I could gift that to you, and you can enjoy it, buddy. You've been good to me over the years, and a great friend since we forged our friendship. And I'm excited to do this. We got to figure out when the next episode is going to be, guys. We don't know yet when we're going to do this again, but we want to do it again. And hope you guys can all join us. And if you want to, get into the chat, let us know what you're thinking. Send Sam a DM on Instagram. You can see under his name @AddictedToCardboard. Let him know what you'd like him to talk about when we come on here with me, and it'd be great. Thank you, Robert Scott. Appreciate that. Mitch says, Sam, I'll text you the patch and you can tell me if it matches.
Okay, so cool. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Michael Stone. Always good to see Michael Stone. He was very helpful with me at the National a couple of years ago. Drove me to the airport. Nice. Among other places. Yeah. So it's always good seeing you guys. Thank you, Stukes. Yeah. Weekday SCL. That's right. We're calling this one Boothmates. We'll have I'm going to put a different background up next time to more, to set a different tone than we have on Saturday nights here. So, look at that. Mollico's now following you on Instagram, Sam.
Beautiful. Sorry, guys. I'm not that I haven't updated my collection there in years, but I got some cool stuff.
You're on there. You do the odd story post, you know.
Yeah.
You show some
Yeah, I
cards
just
you
haven't
want to
posted pickups
sell
in a while. I was getting bombarded, and I just was like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, he says, "Give me your beret cards." That's probably not going to happen though.
I'm a beret collector, so just put that out there. Anybody got some berets?
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining, Sam. This was fun. I'm so glad
this is
decided
awesome.
to do that.
This is awesome.
I'm going to end it. It's going to play the thank you for joining Sports Cards Live. It's going to play that little video in Victory Investments. That's Victory Investments, Schwan from the Victory Investments Instagram account. That's him talking right now. But Sam, then we'll chat after. So stick around for a minute. Everybody, thanks so much.
Thanks everybody who showed up. Thank you for the support. That was cool.
And Saturday night, Sports Cards Live is back. I got a fun episode of Sports Cards Live on Saturday. So it's over. That's right, LGC. All right, guys. Oh, Rob Scott just followed you too, Sam. There we go.
Thank you
guys.
Good night.
See you on Saturday.
Thanks for tuning in and being a part of the Sports Cards Live community. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and most of all, keep collecting. More great content to come. Sports Cards is a lifestyle.